What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of SpeedSim. My name is Amy.
And I'm E-House.
And today we're going to be talking about how to grow the sport of SpeedSoft.
Yes, this is a subject that I actually really do care about, even though I'm someone who's like, oh yeah, Milsim, go to Milsim West.
Yeah, because everyone loves you.
But I do personally believe that Airsoft both deserves and needs to have a variety of genres in order to continue to grow and thrive as a game. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason we do SpeedSim is because we both see the validity of that and the validity of that variety of approaches. So I'm personally invested in seeing SpeedSoft continue to grow. I know Amy is.
Yeah. The problem is, with SpeedSoft right now, it's California-centric. It's very home-brewed in Cali right now because there's a lot of fields, especially Tax City with their SpeedQB tournaments Sundays and the tournaments itself. There's not really a lot to grow. I know in Oregon, most of you guys know that the Winter Expo just happened not too long ago, so it is growing over there as well. For what I've heard from Tax City, they are trying to grow it more to bring other people from around the nation. Now, they're only sticking to the nation because it's kind of harder to grab people from other countries and bring them in. I know that's what they're working towards, but they first want to focus on the United States because it's kind of harder at the moment.
And SpeedSoft is kind of big in the United States compared to a lot of other places. The only other places that really have what you would call SoCal-style SpeedSoft is it's growing in the UK.
Yep.
The Japanese have a lot of representation. Mm-hmm. But then other than that is like the Philippines. The way they do SpeedSoft is so different. So different. And I don't think it would be allowed by our insurance policies here.
I don't think it'd be allowed anywhere in the United States.
Yeah. But
maybe Hawaii.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But then you mentioned Hawaii. I know we have a couple of people who watch our channel who are in Hawaii who play SpeedSoft style. Then Florida, I know, is starting to get more people into it. And Western New York, I know we've got not like an organized community, but we have a pool of people who are getting more interested in it. But it's very limited right now.
It's very hard in our community because it's very Milsim centric. There is a lot of it going here, and even if you go to indoor fields, most of them don't really want you to play that style. They've made a number of videos about how they don't want you to play that style, which is blasphemy personally because you're indoor. I don't know how you're gonna do a Milsim event, but okay. Well, regardless, it's very hard here. And there's so many people that filter in and out here, at least in our community, they have just like completely either stop playing or switch back over to Milsim because that's all you can do here. But I've stuck to it just because I believe that this brand can branch out more. And again, we do this series, and I like playing this playstyle, but I also go with these ding-dongs over here to other Milsim events. And I do, I like hanging out with them. I mean, not personally for the game itself, but whatever, I get to shoot people even though I don't see anybody. But I'm still...
Amy just loves our company.
It's true. I mean, it's more fun that way. I don't want to go by myself to some, like, Milsim event and then be like, well, I'm here by myself. What do I do now? At least the night before, we get fucked up, and then we go and play. So, it's hard, at least here in our community. Everywhere else, it's a little bit easier. A lot more people are pushing the boundaries and having competitions and trying to do the SpeedQB formats. Here, not so much.
And that's something that I want to bring up is, so we mentioned that it's difficult in other areas, but how can we make it less difficult? What do you think are some steps that we can take? Whether let's say you're a player in a local community who wants to do more SpeedSoft type stuff, who wants to maybe organize some tournaments, and who maybe wants to put a team together. Like, what do you think is a good starting point for that?
What I would recommend is contact SpeedQB themselves. They are more than happy to push more SpeedQB style of gameplay. If they push it, that way your field sees it, and that way maybe they will possibly cater to you. I mean, you might have to do a lot of the legwork to get it organized, get the field set up, and talk to the owners and talk to the referees and see if they were willing to help out to do this SpeedSoft Sunday tournament style for your field. And that's really where I think you should begin, is talk to the field owners, talk to the referees, see if they're even down to help, because some of them can be kind of a pain to talk to. But start with the owner and then kind of work your way down. Contact SpeedQB and see if you can get the rule set. I know they have it on their website, but if you can't find it there, I'm sure they're more than willing to send you the information, and so you can set everything up. And then just kind of start there, and then talk to your local players and see if they would be interested in doing that as well.
And I think that that's something that's really important. And this is something that I've noticed that people who go to like Milsim Ops are very good at. And I think that it's continuing to be a factor in the SpeedQB community as well. But there's a big thing that I feel like should be obvious. Get your local players involved. Get your friends involved. If you hear somebody who says, maybe they're playing Airsoft and like, oh, I'm really not into going to ops and I'm really not into this. Present the fact that this alternative or this way of playing exists. You'd be surprised by the number of people who don't realize that what they want is out there. Even people who play Airsoft. It's always about trying to introduce the genre to people who would be interested in it. Invite your friends, make a big day out of it for a group of people, because even if only like 1 out of every 10 people you invite stay, I mean, if you're like me and you've been at this for way too long, you've probably invited like 100 people. Well, then you got 10 new people. So
But as Eric said, grab your friends and just kind of make a day of it. I mean, when SpeedQB first started, even in California, it was super small. It was like 4 or 5 teams that were doing it, and there was not even a prize on the line. It was just them wanting to do the style.
There's still not really a prize on the line. It's just a belt.
It's just a belt. Yeah, I mean, it's
but it's just bragging rights.
It's something to work towards.
True. It's something to work towards. But
it's not like it's an empty kind of.
It's
not empty. You don't get nothing. You get something. Even though
but I mean, like,
it's
not like you get like money or anything. No. It's all for the love of the game.
Exactly.
Really.
And you get at the end of the tournament, there's a raffle every year, and you get a die. You get some SpeedQB swag. You get AIP parts. I mean, you get cool stuff that you can raffle off, which I think is a great way to handle it. You don't actually get a prize at the end of the day except for bragging rights and a belt, but then throughout the event you get a raffle ticket, and you can just throw it in there and hopefully you get something. I mean, it's just a luck of the draw, which I think is a great way to handle it.
Yeah, because then that also cuts down on like the incentive to cheat and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
but we've talked about the difficulties of running tournaments before. Yeah. That's something, go back and watch our videos about event hosting. Even the ones we talk about, like Milsim events, all of that is still relevant as you're hosting SpeedQB games, because I'm going to go circle back to a point Amy made earlier about you might have to do a lot of the legwork.
You're going to have to probably do a lot of the legwork.
And this is something that both of us can comment on, because, sometimes if you want a certain type of game to be played, you might have to be the person who makes that certain type of game happen. Yeah. I mean, I know that neither of us are any stranger to trying to run the types of games we want to play. And sometimes that means we don't end up playing in those games, but that gets more people interested so that the next time we do get to play, we have people to play with.
Exactly. It's all a circle of life.
Yes.
It keeps circling. Even though if you don't get to play, you eventually get there.
And it does require some sacrifice. It does require work. But that's something that really is ultimately worth it if you keep the game going and if you end up growing the game in your area.
Yeah.
I always hear, this is something, I kind of want to rant about this recently, but I always kind of hear people say, oh, I don't want to put all this work into Airsoft, no one wants to play anymore, yada, yada, yada. People get this sky is falling mentality, like Airsoft is going to end tomorrow, and like there's nothing they can do, and like, oh, the game's not worth it. And I always want to say to these people, instead of acting like the sky is falling, how about you act like the pillar that holds it up? How about you do something about it? How about you be nice to people? How about you host games? How about you help? But it seems way easier for people to get defeatist, and that's the one thing I don't want any of you to do, is ever get defeatist and say, well, I can never make this happen.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You can make whatever you want happen if you've got, and I do believe in Airsoft, this is true, maybe not in every other aspect of life, but in Airsoft, if you put in the legwork and you build yourself a good reputation, you really can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. It's true. You can. It's especially pronounced in Airsoft. As long as you make those avenues and you put in the legwork, it's going to take you, quite some time.
It's not going to
happen
years.
Overnight, But eventually you'll get there and you'll be like, I built this. I did this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always easier to make a million excuses and not do something.
But ultimately, it's more worth it to go out and do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's about it.
Yeah, that actually wrapped up really nicely. I'm not used to this. Usually we like ramble for 15, 20 minutes.
It was an easy subject.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of SpeedSim. Once again, my name is Amy.
And I'm eHouse.
And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Thank you for watching this video from Gun Gamers. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. If you want to see more content from us, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help support the channel, be sure to click the link below to buy a patch. Praise Judy.